is back, baby, and he's ready to add his take to the quarterback ranking discourse coming up next on the PHLY Eagles podcast. Welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast on a steamy Monday afternoon. And you know the temperature is rising because Zach Berman is back, baby. How you doing, Mr. Berman?
I'm doing great. I missed the seat. I missed you guys. I was watching throughout the week last week.
I know that's right.
And excited to be back. This is the time of year when we earn our keep, right? Like where you're scratching and clawing for shows here.
How dare you? This is a serious conversation we're about to have today.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying, like, you know, it's not like we can lean on the game coming up this weekend or the draft coming up this week. This is when you really separate like the podcasters, like the best podcasters, right?
Okay, well,
how entertaining can you be on July?
Well, we're the
23rd?
best. That's why TrueMark Financial is so happy to be our presenting sponsor today. And I do have to remind you or tell you as we kick off the week. Big draft week, Zach. NBA draft Wednesday, Thursday. NHL draft Friday, Saturday. That means we have the Make Your Move deal to become a diehard. You want to read all the insight and information from Kyle Neubeck and Derek Bodner and Charlie O'Connor as this week that will shape the future of the Sixers and Flyers gets going. And by the way, we're going to have a nice draft party on Wednesday night at the Boozy Mutt. So should be fun.
Are you a dog guy?
No.
Okay. Neither am I, but the Boozy Mutt would be a good place to go if you're a dog guy. Or if you just like draft.
Or if you just want to go to watch the Sixers guys.
What was the biggest thing you learned about covering, or I shouldn't say covering a draft, preparing for a draft from the draft show last week?
I hope everybody listens to that show. You can check it out. It's actually just on the audio feed, or you can sort of click your way through the 12-hour stream to check that out. But that was a fun conversation I enjoyed with Fran, Charlie, and Derek. What was the thing that I learned? That Derek is still sad about Kristaps Porzingis, I guess. But no, that was a good conversation. Yeah. It's a sort of different philosophies in different sports. But yeah, how about you? How many of those 12 hours did you listen to as you were going down the water slide?
Well, I couldn't have the phone in when I was in the pool. That's the problem. So
when all that you have done for technology, you can't make a phone you can take in the pool?
No, I saw some people actually they wear this thing around their neck, and it's like it covers the phone so they can go in the water with the phone.
No.
Yes, but I didn't have that because
who is doing that?
Oh, a lot of people that they want to take photos when they're on the water slides or they're in the pool.
That's one of the worst things I've ever heard.
But so
and that's saying a lot.
So we were at the water park.
That's terrible.
We were at the water park.
Spend a minute without your phone, please.
Yeah. So we were there for 2 full days. And
once went on vacation my senior year of high school, and it was just sitting in the pool with my phone in my pocket until I realized it was still in my pocket.
That's done.
Texting a girl, I couldn't leave the phone.
Let's hear more about that.
My lesson.
Let's hear more about that.
Not much more to learn. That's the whole story.
So we were there for 2 full days, and
man, that is like that is the worst thing I've ever. Going down the water slide with your phone around your neck.
So we were at this water park, and my son was doing all the slides, and my daughter would play in this like water playground. She liked that, and so Emily and I split up, right? Like divide and conquer, if you will. So she would actually do some of the slides with Reed, and I was watching Sloan. So during those times I was watching Sloan, I had the AirPods in and listening to the shows.
And your family, man.
And then when I got back to the hotel room, it was just in time for the producer show, so I was able to be in front of the computer.
Well, that was a highlight.
Andrew on that.
Yeah.
So I said in there, I probably listened to 4 hours of the 12, and I haven't gone back and listen to all of them. But it was you know, I get a little FOMO when I'm gone. I miss Todd Herman's. I would have liked to be there for that conversation. The draft notes from Fran was a good talk.
I think you guys will get to have a show like that later on this summer.
Yeah, and then I enjoyed being on Friday's show. That was a long one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you feel over the weekend about the Chris Lindstrom disaster?
Yeah, I wasn't happy with Chris Lindstrom. I was dealing with I had to sign an authorization form for my wife.
That was a whole to do.
Yes, we weren't. She didn't realize I was doing the show at that time. But I'm proud of my overall team, and I just want the audience to know because they seem to love Fran's team, and look, Fran's team is very good.
Yeah, it's the second best team for sure.
Travis Hunter, the ability to play two ways is so important.
You're going to give us your full Gladstone here.
Yeah, Travis Hunter is changing football.
Do you think there's any relation between James Gladstone and Joey Gladstone?
No, I do not.
Be funny if that was his project.
I do not. Shout out to Mitchell Gladstone, a viewer of the show.
Ah. They call him Happy Rock.
Happy Rock.
Yeah. Gladstone.
Okay. That's a Bo Wulf line if I've ever heard one.
There you go.
All right.
And then before we get into it, last thing, I know there are a lot of things we talked about. You want to make sure that your voice is heard on these matters. Anything on castration you wanted to get off your chest?
No, nothing. I have... It's something I prefer not to think about. Yes.
All right, fair enough. Okay. The conceit of the show today, Zach. All these national people. Well, the quarterback rankings. It's big quarterback ranking discourse season. We got to be part of it. I guess.
But we have to be original with it.
But we can't just do the same thing.
Exactly.
We got to have our own conceit. And so what we're doing today, we're ranking all 32 teams on their quarterback rooms. And we are not. You got to have a framing. Is this just for one game? For one season, rest of their careers? We are saying you are taking over a team and you are starting a franchise with the quarterback room that you have available. So, obviously, Matthew Stafford is going to be lower ranked on this list than he might be otherwise if it was for just one season. But we'll see. And I mean, I didn't take the quarterback rooms themselves that much into account. There was like tiebreaker for me.
Sure.
But how did you approach this?
Yeah, so the discrepancy in our rankings will probably be me overvaluing the backup quarterback because I think we're looking at the entire room here. And so if there's like a backup quarterback who I feel is a high level backup, that gives me
nice to have.
That gives me some excitement. If there's a young quarterback like who I think can emerge.
Yeah, the one that you mentioned blew me away.
Yeah.
Absolutely astounded me.
Did you see Joe Milton in Week 18 last year with New England? Who here saw Joe Milton in Week 18 with New England?
I cannot believe you viewed Joe Milton as a positive difference maker.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Joe Milton throws the ball like 80 yards, right? It was all over. So when he was at Tennessee, he struggled at Michigan.
Wasn't drafted early enough for you.
True. And they asked him to try different positions. No, Joe Milton can throw the ball.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I had a little adjustment in my rankings for quarterback room. 2 was the best you could get, a little 2-point adjustment. 1 was like it's a positive. 0 was neutral. -1, -2. I gave the Cowboys a -1 adjustment. Joe Milton, he's not ready for prime time to be a backup quarterback.
Oh, but there's some upside there.
There's some upside there, but relative to the rest of the league,
I was reading those Patriots training camp reports last year. It was like he was outplaying Drake May.
Maybe that's more of a lesson about training camp reports than about the quality of Joe Milton.
That's a conversation for a different day.
Okay. So I created a proprietary formula here.
As you're wont to do.
So I've got, I can't give you everything.
Okay.
That wouldn't make it.
Is it the Madden ratings?
No longer proprietary. It's not the Madden ratings.
Okay.
I have, EPA per dropback, success rate, negative play percentage. I have it up for 2024, but also the last 3 years combined, different weights in there. I've got their rushing EPA because we can't forget about that. I've got a ranking for who's got the most dog in them because that matters here. And I'm curious to see where we have Jalen Hurts. I have a guess for where you have Jalen Hurts, and I'm gonna write it down here.
Okay.
And we'll see if I revel it.
Well, not Jalen Hurts, the Eagles quarterback room.
Well, that's right.
Okay.
That's right. The Eagles quarterback.
I want to make that clear.
Okay. So let's get into it. Let's start at the top.
Yes.
I imagine we have the same number 1. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Pittsburgh
Los
Steelers.
Angeles Chargers.
I was going to do an Aaron Rodgers joke there. No.
Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, Kansas City Chiefs. And also, you talk about high-level backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, this is different.
Gardner Minshew, that was probably an under-the-radar move. They went from Carson Wentz to Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew, we've seen him come in and win games. He did not cut it as the starting quarterback with the Raiders last year, but high-level backup. I'm probably spending too much time talking about the backup. The starting quarterback here is the best quarterback in the NFL. He's, in my opinion, the best player in NFL history, and he is cheating on Tom there. But
wouldn't be the first time. Did you do some jujitsu on vacation, my friend?
That's a good line. I actually didn't mean to set you up on that, but Patrick Mahomes is awesome, and Patrick Mahomes is the clear number one.
When you say best player of all time, if he retires tomorrow, is that the case, or you're talking about the apex of his ability? No one has ever played the game at as high a level.
Yeah, I think when he retires, he'll be sure. Yeah, I think when he retires, he'll be the best quarterback of all time. I think if he retired today, he's in that conversation. But I think Tom Brady's overall body of work.
This is the distinction between best and greatest.
Yes,
I think Michael Jordan is the greatest. LeBron James is the best.
Yeah. I mean, my grandfather went to Overbrook High School. He would tell you Wilt Chamberlain. But, I hear what you're saying. And I think the world of Patrick Mahomes. Yeah,
I mean, no doubt about it. Still only 29 going to be playing in his 29-year-old season this year. So, still a long runway for Patrick Mahomes. I was a little bit surprised. In my formula, he ranked 6th.
So you
adjustment, but I mean, that was just to inform. That's also more about how they've performed over the past 3 years. That offense has had some ups and downs, and he's not adding much as a runner until he has to when it matters. I don't think we need to talk too much about Patrick Mahomes. He's the best player.
I have a quick Mahomes question, and this might sound ignorant. I was watching the finals last night, and I saw the commercial with him and Messi. And I take it you're someone who probably knows something about commercial production. This might sound foolish. Are they in the same room or are they separate? Okay, so they're just filming them on the stationary bikes, or I'm sorry, on the treadmills rather, hitting the other person's.
Well, I didn't see the commercial.
Oh, okay. So what the commercial is Messi's on one, Mahomes is on the other, and they make the other person go faster. Like they raise the speed.
That
for
would
the
be
other
very
person.
surprising if they're on the same one. Yeah,
it's
like, I mean, those ones where it's like someone's throwing a ball to somebody, and then they catch the ball, and then they're like, you think those people are in the same room?
No, but I'm saying in this case here, he's stateside, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine it wouldn't be difficult to get Messi and Mahomes in the same room if you're Adidas. But I don't know if it's CGI work that goes into it. They have someone else on the treadmill next to Mahomes when he does it, and then they just.
I mean, if they're side by side, probably more likely than not that they're not together.
Yeah, good commercial.
Wow.
We're talking about the next day, right? So. Stood out.
Well, you are.
I am.
Okay.
All right, number 2.
All right, who's your number 2?
The Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
Mr. Biscuit.
Yeah, reigning MVP. Mitch Trubisky is a solid backup. They could probably use more of a developmental number 3 than what they have. They go Mike White. Well, you see Mike White win some games. Remember that Thursday night game?
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
I thought he was a starting quarterback for a while.
Sure. But I am going with the Buffalo Bills here.
I agree. I also have Josh Allen number 2 here, and he would be number 1 on the rankings here, the Bo Wulf formula. But in my subjective rankings, he's number 2. He's very good. He's a little bit older than I thought in my mind. I mean, he's also going to be in his 29-year-old season. Though we'll get to Jalen Hurts. He's a few years younger, obviously. You got your Jordan Loves, your CJ Strouds. Josh Allen's just a touch older. You wonder how his body's going to hold up the way that he plays.
So another ignorant question: am I supposed to know a lot about his wife? Like,
you're not a Pitch Perfect man.
I'm not familiar with her work. I mean, I knew the name, but I couldn't have told you a movie she was in.
You never seen Pitch Perfect? Pitch Perfect 2, I believe she's in.
No, I have not seen Pitch Perfect.
And of course,
she was in one recently.
The Coen Brothers movie that she's in when she was a precocious youngster.
She's
True Grit.
True Grit.
True Grit.
She's very good in True Grit.
Okay, I have seen True Grit.
Sinners was the most recent.
Oh, I haven't
Sinners.
seen, you know what?
I want to see that.
See Sinners.
It comes out on.
Yeah, but I want to see it in the theaters.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that one.
How am I supposed to get time to go to the theater? by myself. Tough question. But yeah, I didn't need to see that.
A good summer day at a theater.
She's outstanding in True Grit.
Okay.
But, you can't be looking at her with the gaze of this is the person who's going to be marrying
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. She's like 14 years old.
I promise you, I won't keep doing these tangents. We have 32 teams to get to. So
I kind of like this. I like the give me an ignorant question for all 32 teams.
Ignorant question for all 32. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Who's your number 3? I'm a little curious about who's your number 3.
Yeah, I went to Baltimore Ravens here, and I'm not sold on the backup quarterback situation. They added Cooper Rush
What
this
an
offseason.
odd, priority backup for that.
Yeah, I did find that
Very
odd.
bizarre.
But Lamar's that good. He's still young, and I just have confidence.
Am I safe in saying that you have the Bengals at number 4?
You are.
Okay. So what was the back and forth in your mind between Lamar and Joe?
I've seen. Yeah, I think Lamar's.
Lamar and Joe, like I know that.
I think Lamar's more unique. I guess. I love Burrow too.
Are you open to the idea that
Cincinnati could be 3?
no, but the idea that push come to shove in the playoffs, why haven't we seen Lamar have the game?
Because he's played against the Chiefs.
Sure.
So yeah.
But if he's the MVP of the league,
I agree.
I think we could have hoped for more at some point, right? I don't think that's unfair.
Yeah, it's like those, Charles Barkley had Jordan in his way, right? It's just the luck of the draw. If Lamar Jackson were in the NFC, I believe that he would have played in multiple Super Bowls by now.
Okay. Well, so that affects why you have him over Jalen Hurts, I guess. Yeah, I mean, listen, I also have the Ravens at 3 and the Bengals at 4.
I do like Jake Browning more, though.
After having watched him play, yeah.
Yeah, I like Jake Browning more than Cooper Rush. So I was debating that 3 and 4.
Do you think that there is reason why quarterbacks with a color in their name tend to be backups? You've got Mike White, you've said so far, Jake Browning already. Anything there?
No, I have nothing for you on that one. No, I'm trying to think. No, I think it's pretty common. You have a color as your last name, so it's just there's probably the volume for it. Are there colors as starting quarterbacks?
I can't see. I'm looking at it now. I don't see any starting quarterbacks with colors in their name.
Interesting. And then. Yeah, no, I have nothing for you on that one. I wish I had more.
So do I. That was my ignorant question.
Gotcha. Okay. Number 5.
Let's get to number 5 before the break. I'm very curious. This is when it starts. This is when the ranking starts, Zach.
Yeah.
I think that your number 5 is the Philadelphia Eagles.
From one author to another. Jalen Hurts, you are number 5. If you didn't see the news, Jalen Hurts has a children's book. My children are going to be pretty frustrated here. Brandon Graham writes one. Then
pretty long publishing runway for that one, right?
I was thinking the same thing. I had to turn around 83,000 words to get out before the season started. This guy,
getting published in March.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to take advantage of he doesn't want to get the Super Bowl bump.
My guess is he probably didn't want to do the publicity tour during the season.
But he could do it now.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say,
very odd.
It's actually a question I would say, Jalen. Like, I'm envious of you, man. I had to turn that around.
You think they're still working on the illustrations or getting the copy down? You think he's written the book yet?
Oh yeah, I'm sure he has.
Okay.
Unless he just got the book deal and they announced it. And
that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe actually, that's an interesting.
He's getting paid up front. Now he's got to go write the book. That's what he's spending his offseason doing.
Sure. So he's got a better agent than I do.
That's for sure.
Shout out to Nicole. So
I doubt she's his book agent though.
Oh no, but I'm sure Rock Nation I'm sorry, it's not Rock Nation. It's Clutch. I apologize. Clutch Sports has
Gladstone.
Clutch Sports has someone in house for books. Yeah, is my guess. I don't know.
Probably
actually,
so.
it's actually. Anyways, I have the Eagles number 5. First off, Jalen's won a Super Bowl MVP. Okay, we can have to debate whether he's a better quarterback than Justin Herbert or Jordan Love or we can have that debate. He's accomplished, that's for sure. But then you add in the fact that he's still young. He's on a good contract, relatively speaking.
Were you factoring in contracts? I wasn't really.
No, but
I guess any quarterback worth
that you're starting.
Anything you're going to sign to a contract.
True. I like Tanner McKee so this was a big thing. Tanner McKee's shown upside. I don't want to steal your bit, but Tanner McKee has, entering year 3, if we did a backup quarterback show, maybe we'll do that on like July 4th or we're not doing a show on July 4th, July 3rd, maybe.
That says America more than that.
Yeah. Backup quarterback rankings. Everyone else is doing the starting quarterback rankings. We're doing the backup quarterback rankings. So I like Tanner McKee. He would be high up on that list. Then Kyle McCord is a developmental 3rd. I'm good with that.
Sure. Kyle McCord doesn't factor into this ranking at all.
Well, I'm looking at the overall quarterback room. He's in the room.
Well, I know, but
I have 3 spots here on my spreadsheet. A, B,
that's very nice for you.
Yeah. So
I'm glad that you were able to get to D on the on the spreadsheet.
D on the spreadsheet, yeah.
But no one's making a decision based on the 3rd round, the third quarterback.
No, but when I'm thinking about the overall strength of I'm taking the whole quarterback.
Yeah, but you're doing it because of Jalen. Don't.
Oh yeah, obviously, if this was
shove that aside.
If they had Aaron Rodgers,
this was just ranking quarterbacks, would you have Jalen Hurts 5th?
For the starting the franchise conversation, yes, I would strongly consider Jaden Daniels, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love in there. But yeah, I think Jalen has earned that distinction.
I don't think that's unfair.
Yeah. I know there might be, national analysts and radio hosts who disagree with me, but like Jalen's done everything that asked of him.
That and more.
Yeah.
I think that those, the whatever national conversations you're referencing, where Justin Herbert is thought of as the best quarterback, probably the number 5 quarterback, or whatever it is. I do think that, and this is not how I would have thought, 10 years ago, but I do think that the force of personality and the je ne sais quoi of Jalen Hurts.
I like that. The je ne sais quoi.
Underrated. I also think from an on-field perspective, it's easy to look past the rushing value. Now listen, there were times last year where the offense treated Jalen Hurts like a rookie quarterback, and they were purposefully asking him to not do a lot. And it's hard to watch that, knowing that this is a quarterback who's getting paid a lot of money, and the organization is treating him that way, and not think, what do they know that I don't like? Yeah. Obviously, they are treating him this way because they don't think he can do it all.
Sure.
But and listen, I also don't want to be too recency biased and just say he played a great game in the Super Bowl. This is where he belongs. But I also think it is fair to say that over the past 3 years, no quarterback in football has had more EPA added in the playoffs, the playoffs, than Jalen Hurts. He's been the best playoff quarterback in football over the last 3 years. That matters. Sure, he's got a great cast around him. He's got a great offensive line. He had Saquon Barkley. He's got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Not everybody has that. But I also think, I don't necessarily know that, I think if Jalen Hurts had the Chargers roster last year, I think the Chargers would have been better. I really do. And I know that Justin Herbert can make a lot of throws that Jalen Hurts can't make. But Justin Herbert also throws these throws that are technically impressive and not that catchable. You know what I mean? Like the point of the pass is for the receiver to catch it.
Sure.
I also have Jalen Hurts and the Eagles quarterbacks at number 5.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which surprised me a little bit.
Based on your formula or based on subjective?
On my formula, he's at 7.
Okay.
But he's going to be 27 years old this year. They have a good backup quarterback, arguably the best backup quarterback in football. I think that there are reasons to be skeptical of Jalen Hurts, especially from the outside. And even from the inside, where we know that, he doesn't have the best relationship with everybody on the roster. Sure. But you know what? The thing that Todd Herman said last week has really stuck with me. The quarterback doesn't have to be everybody's best friend.
No.
As long as he is psychotically committed to just being the best football player.
Well said.
Right? And Lord knows, often at the expense of our own content, that is all that Jalen Hurts cares about.
Yeah, you put it well there. Todd put it well there. I listened to a podcast with Seth Wickersham and Bruce Feldman.
Great podcast. Love that podcast.
And Seth has a terrific book. Well, I imagine it's a terrific book. I haven't read it yet. It's coming out in the fall, American Kings, and it's about quarterbacks. And he spent like 3 years just studying quarterbacks. And Seth, I'm paraphrasing here, but spoke about how like for a quarterback to function well, he needs to believe that he's like the center of the universe, basically, that everything is created for him to excel during those 3 hours on Sunday, and that he almost needs to have this irrational belief that he's like above everybody else.
He's the smartest person in every
exactly.
room.
Yeah. And so there was the expression I think Sean Payton said to Seth, where when you get on a plane, the quarterback turns left and everyone else turns right, right? And like there's something about like Jalen has that. When I heard that, it really helped explain Jalen's personality. Jalen believes at all times like he is the best quarterback, and I think that has helped him. And look, we talk about recency bias. 2 of the past 3 years, he's played in the Super Bowl, and he outplayed Patrick Mahomes last year, and he might have outplayed Patrick Mahomes 3 years ago. Yeah. And there's something to be said about that as well. So if you're looking for Jalen Hurts is overrated, you're probably watching the wrong show. I think that Jalen has earned this spot on the list, and if Jalen's watching, I imagine he probably thinks he should be higher on this list. Do you think he's watching?
I know he's watching.
What's up, Jalen?
He's been texting me.
Now I'm jealous.
He said he just finished the book.
His book? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, children's books are like 18 pages, so knock those out in a night.
This is one of your funniest stances is talking down on children's authors and children's books.
Well, the illustrator is more
subspecies.
No, it's not. It's more jealousy because I put myself through the ringer to fit.
That's Sheil.
Yes, okay. To finish a book, and I read these.
Yeah, but it's an art form, though. It's not just take the 80,000 words you wrote and make it and just take the first 300. You got to make it economical. You got to make those words count.
Beep said blue around the curve, right? I mean,
listen, I don't want to offend you here. Little blue truck, and even more to the point, like Room on the Broom.
You're taking that over the franchise?
Room on the Broom, I am sorry to say, better than anything either of us has ever written.
Well, I mean, that Kelsey story you wrote was amazing. So
Room on the Broom is every word is perfect. It sends a wonderful message. You get the nice refrain and chorus. Good opportunity for voices as well. Julie Donaldson, I mean, my hat's off to you. That's I would say one of the great literary achievements of the world.
Yeah, look, I respect all authors, right? But I'm just, what?
I don't think that's true.
All right, fine. I respect what it takes to write a book. Anyways, I think we gotta get to our sponsors, and then I can talk more about authors, because I actually did. I want to tell the audience I did start reading fiction.
Oh, find out what it is on the other side after a word from our sponsors. Speaking of little blue truck, beep, beep, beep. Who's getting into the Jeep?
Ooh, good job.
Cherry Hill Jeep. If you're looking for a Jeep or Ram truck, there's only one dealership in South Jersey who has been the market leader since 1967. My friends at cherryhilljeep.com have you covered on the best selection, but more importantly, the best prices. And they are celebrating the summer all summer long with all kinds of savings. Slide into a Jeep Grand Cherokee this month. Not only is it the most awarded SUV ever, it was also named the Motor Week's best midsize utility vehicle for the past 2 years in a row. That's in addition to being a 2024 IIHS top safety pick. Or you could pull away in the most luxurious and functional pickup truck on the market today. That, of course, is the 2025 Ram 1500, which just received the most coveted award in the pickup truck industry, the 2025 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. So, what do you need to do? Stop in today. Tell them PHLY sent you and receive an additional $1,000 for your trade-in. I know people buy Jeeps and Ram trucks elsewhere. I just don't know why. Drive home in your new Jeep or Ram truck today, just minutes from all bridges, or available online 24/7 at cherryhilljeep.com.
So some of you might be like me, and excuse me, in that you lost your power over the weekend. You had to clean out your fridge, and you're probably looking to start over right now. And if you need meals that you want that are easy, that are delicious in your fridge, there's one place to turn. That's HelloFresh. HelloFresh makes it easier to fit quick home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes like pasta primavera, chicken Dijon, and chicken Dijon. You say tomato, I say tomato, and pecan-crusted trout, as well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats. In 2025, we're evolving to fit every lifestyle by bringing customers even more convenience without compromising on taste, health, or homemade quality. Our new ready-made meals offer chef-crafted, flavorful dishes that are ready in just 3 minutes, so you can dig in and get outside, get work done, or just get some me time. Flexible deliveries that you can pause or skip when needed. Every HelloFresh meal uses high-quality ingredients, including seasonal fresh produce and proteins that travel from the farm to your doorstep. Feel great with meals that fit your spring schedule and your summer schedule, and make this season even more delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/Eagles10FM now to get 10 free meals with a free item for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
All right, Zach. Very boring 2-man show. We got the same rankings, same top 5.
Yeah.
When are we gonna differ?
Maybe
I think it might not be at 6. I think we might have the same number 6. I'm curious.
So number 6.
Do you want to tell us what book you've been reading? I do think that I Respect All Authors might be the worst take you've ever had.
Yeah,
I'm glad you walked it back.
Yeah, I walk it back.
As long as Mein Kampf is out there.
Yeah, I don't respect that author. I agree. I probably should. I was trying to speak generally about writing a book. Certainly don't want to get into that conversation. Anyways, I promised the audience that I would read fiction. And so reading reviews of summer books.
I mean, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
You could not possibly be just more right between the eyes on this one.
And so I'm reading recommendations for summer books, and I see a book about it's a fiction book about the first gentleman is a former football player, and he's obviously married to the president of the United States, and it involves journalists here, and there's a I don't want to give it away, but he's involved in a crime, or a proposed crime, an alleged crime rather, and it's written by Bill Clinton and James Patterson, and I gotta say,
they alternated words. How do you think that works?
I'm actually curious. They have this interesting device where the I don't know the exact amount of pages because I read on a Kindle, but the chapters, there's like 60 chapters in the book, and each chapter is probably like 500 words or so or something. But yeah, I started reading this
Greg
this
Rosenthal
book.
rolling over in his grave over this one.
Why?
This is the one fiction book.
This is the first. Yeah.
That's
So
outrageous.
look, it kind of reminds me of like if you used to watch Scandal. You know, it's like Scandal meets Playmakers. Okay, how about that? Or something like that. But yeah, I
could not be more perfect for you.
So this is my foray into fiction.
Is there an Epstein character in this book, or do they stay away from that?
No, I haven't encountered such a character yet.
You haven't finished it yet.
No, I haven't finished it yet.
How deep are you?
I'm about halfway through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll finish?
Yeah, I will definitely finish. The summer's when I do a lot of like pleasure reading, like
Those books with Fabio on the cover.
When I read, the summer's when I read I said I want to alternate like one fiction book for every 3 nonfiction books. So
okay.
Yeah. So if
Good
you have more suggestions, then fire away. But yeah, it's I mean, look, I think fiction.
Have you read Jenna Bush's latest?
No.
Just throwing out. Maybe that's your lane. It's just.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, it's actually like, you know, it gets your imagination rolling here.
Okay. Yeah. You probably could do that at a higher level of quality. But
He played for the New England Patriots. So, yeah.
So
there's some
you
scenes.
get
I'm
your
like,
Belichick kink knocked off.
no. So it got great reviews. Great reviews. So it's been fine.
Where?
I prefer nonfiction, but
Great reviews from whom?
I think I googled best books for the summer, and this was high on the list. So I'm just being honest with you. So I'm reading that, and then I'm reading Abundance. Are you familiar with Abundance?
Maybe.
Yeah, by Thompson and Klein. Yeah, it's a good read. Recommend that.
Okay.
Anyways, back to
it's funny that we have a whole conceit about rankings, which are designed to get us angry at each other, and the only thing that is mystifying me is your book taste.
It's the fiction. Yeah, true.
All right, who's your number 6?
The Washington Commanders. Are we at the same here?
We are.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Jaden Daniels emerged last year, brings his team to the NFC Championship game as a rookie, and then I really like Marcus Mariota as a backup quarterback. I think Mariota,
second best quarterback in football last year after Tanner McKee.
Yeah, Mariota gives you some juice as a backup, so I like that combination.
Yeah. Listen, I'm a little bit wary of the 1-year sensation. I think if we had done this exercise a year ago, C.J. Stroud would have been number 5 or number 6 on this list, right? The unbelievable rookie season. Now, Jaden Daniels' rookie season was better significantly than C.J. Stroud's statistically. He also, got to the NFC Championship game. I think Jaden Daniels is really good. I am cautious that I have him this high after just one season. But yeah, I mean, you watch him play. I believe in it. The numbers back it up. He's also, if you're talking about just starting a franchise, he's one of only 2 guys in my top 10 who are going to be 24 or 23 years old entering this year. Yeah, I would be happy to sign up for Jaden Daniels as my starting quarterback, as the leader of my franchise.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I'm curious here now. This may be where we diverge, and I think this is I think there's a drop off here. I think those top 6, it's like you're very happy. Once we get to 7 here, I think you're a little bit like we can win. We can win the Super Bowl with this guy, but we have to put the right stuff around him.
Yeah, so this is a team that that I'm high on this year, and I'm high on this quarterback as well, and that's Justin Herbert. Los Angeles Chargers, number 7. Taylor Heineke's their backup quarterback, and I got to say, their third quarterback, they added someone who's always been
you're a sucker for this third quarterback,
a source of intrigue for me, and that's Trey Lance.
I mean, if you are doing, if you're thinking about this exercise and which quarterbacks you would want out of 100 turkeys, how much does the third quarterback mean to you?
8.
That's shockingly high, I feel.
Okay.
No more than 2.
So then why are we doing the quarterback room?
Because it breaks a tie.
Okay.
And it's something a little bit different.
Sure. Yeah, so look, you have a lot of shows out there that are doing quarterback rankings. None of them are discussing Trey Lance. So we're finding a way to zig when others zag. Or zag when others zig.
I think Justin Herbert's overrated.
Why?
People talk about him like he's in the inner circle of elite players. He's never accomplished anything, and I'm not Mr. Accomplishment. Yeah. That's you, but well, that's true.
Yeah.
But he's been in the league long enough.
Sure.
I mean, I know that he's had bad offensive lines, and the wide receivers have been in and out. I think you'd be happy to have him as your quarterback, but I need to see it a little bit more. And even like it's not like he's putting up Brock Purdy level statistical numbers, like efficiency numbers, right? Like last year, 12th in EPA per dropback, 20th in success rate, 14th in negative plays. Over the past 3 years, 13th in EPA per dropback, 19th in success rate. Like, what am I missing?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
he's ranked 14th in my dog in him category.
You don't think he has a dog in him?
He's 14th. It's middle of the road.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm curious to hear more about the dog in him rankings.
Very important.
Yeah, I feel like he's got all the talent. I feel as if Earlier in his career, the offensive line really set him back.
I think he's too well adjusted.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's too much of a normal human being.
Interesting. So to go based on like the jail, and you have to be maniacal.
If we're going down the Wickersham road, I don't think that Justin Herbert is deranged enough to really be an elite quarterback in the NFL.
Well, I think his head coach fills it all on the deranged scale.
Right.
So
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
He needs to borrow
exactly
the combined
exactly
deranged.
Yeah.
What would be the word there? Derangement. The combined derangement.
Combined derangement. Exactly.
And Herbert.
If we're doing
good,
deranged coach quarterback combinations, the Chargers might be top 3 just based on the coach.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's my take.
Okay.
Justin Herbert's too normal to really be an elite quarterback.
Okay. What was he, a biology major in college?
Yeah, you can't have
real
other interests.
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
Yeah. Played for his hometown school. Yeah.
I had Herbert and the Chargers at 9.
Interesting. Okay, so there's our first disagreement. Who'd you have at 7?
I don't love this, but I love it. Jordan Love.
Okay.
A little bit, he came up a little bit small in the playoffs, no doubt about that. But he's only 26 years. He's going to be 26 years old this year. Does a very good job of not having negative plays. Adds a little bit of juice in the running game. I like Jordan Love. I don't love Jordan Love, but I like him enough that he can be my number 7.
And their backup quarterback's Malik Willis, who...
Yeah, that is. Who's their number 3?
Oh, I had that.
Scott Tolzien?
No.
No, I'm joking.
Excuse me. I should have written that down. Their number 3 is Sean Clifford.
Ah, that's right. Sean Clifford.
From Penn State.
Stinks.
So I actually had the Packers 9. So our 7 and 9 were reversed.
There you go. All right. We'll find out who we both have at 8 and 10 through 32 on the other
Maybe we
side.
make this a 2-parter.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be enough hook. All right. Back with more on the other side. You know who has Justin Herbert as the number 1 quarterback in the world?
Who?
Hey, have you ever seen him throw the ball in a line to the outside of the numbers? It's really good. Oh my God, he can throw the ball so far. I love Justin Herbert.
That.
And by the way, my name is Ray.
Shady Ray. Shady Ray is not who we're talking about today. We're talking about Shady Rays, the fantastic sunglasses company. It's going to make you stay, Zach. You know that moment, the one when you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach? Happened to me last year. Or on the roof of your car or at a gas station 3 states away. Well, I've been there too. And guess what happened? Nothing. I got new sunglasses thanks to Shady Rays because they've got the best protection plan in all of eyewear. Here's the wild part. If you lose or break your sunglasses, even on day 1, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now, I actually wear my sunglasses without fear on hikes, at concerts, on the boat, wherever. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use code PHLY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
So if you go into my home office, you will see the Declaration of Independence. But this is not the Declaration
Nicolas
of Independence
Cage over here.
Well, this is not the Declaration of Independence that Thomas Jefferson wrote. It's the word. It's not the original.
You check the treasure map on the back?
What this is actually it's the text of the Declaration of Independence making the Liberty Bell. It's awesome. And the place where I got it is Art of Words. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and this local Philly artist proves it. Each piece is made entirely from handwritten words, like every eagle forming the link and every Philly shaping Citizens Bank Park. It's not just sports. He's captured Boathouse Row, Reading Terminal, the Philly skyline, the Jersey Shore, the Liberty Bell. It's not on here, but that's the one I have, and more. These are unforgettable gifts for sports fans, grads, housewarmings, Mother's Days, Father's Days, any occasion. He started maybe a July 4th party. He started selling art at the K-Lot and Rice's Flea Market and credits Philly fans for launching his career. It's available for dozens of teams and cities too. There's something for everyone. So if you have an out-of-town friend or family member, you're free to go for that as well. These pieces are total conversation starters. You'll spot a name, then another, and soon everyone's reliving their favorite sports memory. He's been featured on the Today Show, ESPN, and TED Talks. Check it out at artofwords.com. That's artofwords.com. Use PHLY at checkout for 15% off your purchase.
All right, who you got at number 8?
Number 8, I have the Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud.
Me too.
Wow. Okay.
I'm buying the hope.
Yes.
The flashes that we've seen.
Sure.
He's young enough. He's only going to be in his 23-year-old season. I'm betting on the come with C.J. Stroud.
And then they have Davis Mills as their backup.
He a long neck,
a Stanford guy,
like a giraffe.
Stanford guy. So he's smart.
So, yes. They're number 3.
They're number 3. I think it's Shane Bucali. Is that right? No, it's Graham Mertz. Not a big Graham Mertz. Not a big Graham Mertz guy.
Tough to go Graham Mertz, like the M to the M. It sounds like Graham Ertz, like Zach Ertz, but it's actually Mertz.
Mertz.
Tough transition. You want to try to avoid that if you can.
Yeah, he puts the M in Ertz.
Yeah, I know that's right.
So who's your number 10 or number 10?
My number 10, another guy. This is one where it surprised me a little bit, and this is someone who I was wrong about. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I didn't know what the Lions were doing. Why are they wasting their time with Jared Goff? Let's fast forward and get a real quarterback in here. He's been awesome, and it's going to be interesting to see him divorced from Ben Johnson. We'll see how it goes. But he's also only in his age 30 season. I've got Jared Goff, despite the disappointing Hendon Hooker backup, Zach, as my number 10.
I like Hendon Hooker as the backup. That actually made me raise them. They're number 12 on my list. I actually thought
you like a hooker.
I like a Hendon Hooker. Yes. It seems like I'm overrating the Tennessee the Tennessee
it does
products
seem
here.
like that, yeah.
But yeah, I saw Hendon Hooker play when he was at Virginia Tech, and I was like, if this guy gets better coaching, he'll be a good player. He goes to Tennessee, gets better coaching, was really good there. Hendon Hooker, I'm looking forward to seeing Hendon Hooker film during training camp this year.
Okay.
So I have the Lions 12. My number 10 is the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay. Again, we swapped. I have them at 12.
Okay. Brock Purdy has, I know he's kind of viewed as Mr. Irrelevant. He's been really productive. Like the efficiency numbers are there. He brought his team to the Super Bowl. And then I like Mac Jones as a backup quarterback. I think if you remember that
Kyle Shanahan wanted all along.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was thinking of putting them higher, but they get a solid top 10 grade from me.
I mean, listen, it's hard to ignore the efficiency numbers of how good Brock Purdy has been in my rankings. He's in my formula. He's number 4, right after Josh Allen and Jared Goff and Lamar. But you're trying to extrapolate how much of that is Kyle Shanahan and the offense. But you can't really knock him for that. And he's only 25 years old. I think it's reasonable. This is the area where you're like, okay, I've got a starting quarterback. Now I got to build the rest of the team.
So you're number 11.
Stafford.
Ooh.
I'm taking the Rams here because I think that after this, this is my guy who I could win a Super Bowl this year with. So yes, he's going to be 37. If we were just doing it for this season, I think you could make a case for Stafford as high as 5. You could make the case. But because you're signing up for 1 or 2 more years, and then you got to have a transition plan, that's where I have him at 11.
I've got 23.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Because we're thinking long term. I
think there is value in pricing in excellence.
Sure.
And then you get to go to work. Because otherwise, if you're talking about the likes of, I don't know, Bryce Young or Caleb Williams, who we will get to, you don't have a choice. You're just ride or die with this guy.
That's fair. And look, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a high-level backup quarterback too.
You know that.
So this is probably too low. I think I did some adjusting with this, but that's our biggest discrepancy so far. My number 11, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Where were they for you?
They're 14 for me.
Okay. I've always been a Trevor Lawrence guy, going back to when he was at Clemson. I think that I've seen him win a playoff game against Justin Herbert. Last year he was banged up. He didn't really take that jump. I am going with Jacksonville at number 11, and then their backup quarterback situation. It's not.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's Nick Mullins.
That's really bad.
Yeah, Nick Mullins was here. Remember that?
Yeah, one of the worst training camp quarterbacks I've ever seen
Yeah.
this side of Clapham.
Yeah. But he has experience with Grant Udinski, the offensive coordinator.
Listen, that's the other column I have on here. Is I have dog in him, I have EPA per dropback, and I have experience with Grant Udinski.
Grant Udinski from
The U.
CB West. Do we have any Central Bucs West viewers there? Andrew, CB West?
Oh,
Look at that. Yeah.
did you know that? Wow.
Yeah, Grant Udinski, they're OCs from CB West. Local guy.
Not Grant Medinsky, not Grant Wiedinski. Grant Udinski.
Yeah, 29 years old from Doylestown.
I would have went to school with him. I should know him.
Yeah, you should. He graduated CB West he was probably the class of 2015.
Oh, okay. No, I was 11.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so he was probably on the football team there. When I was growing up, and I would read the Inquirer every day.
You're still growing up.
Yeah, not literally. But those CB West teams, the Mike Pettin teams with Dave Armstrong, I remember reading about those teams every single weekend in the Inquirer.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Trevor Lawrence is still only in his age 25 season, so I'm open to it, but I do think that he has been a massive disappointment as a pro so far. You see the flashes in that Chargers playoff game. Even every now and then you see throws that guys just drop, but it has been a disappointing performance so far, and he's been in the league long enough. I actually probably wish that I had ranked him a little bit lower, but
so my number 12 we discussed was Detroit. Your number 12?
Okay. My number 12 was
San Fran.
San Fran. My 13 is the Bucs. Baker Mayfield.
Ooh, my 13 is the Bears.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm buying the Caleb Williams juice.
Okay, actually, you know what? He's not that much lower for me. He's actually 16.
Okay. Yeah, I think the coaching was so bad there last year. Now you need to overcome coaching, right? But I'm bullish on Caleb Williams. If at some point,
I'm willing to write off last year. I agree with that.
At some point during the next 3 weeks, we're going to do a fantasy football show. It's probably a day that Jamie and me are in studio. And I will be talking up Caleb Williams as a potential sleeper in fantasy football.
Okay. Interesting. I've got the Bears at 16. You're not even going to tell us they've got Tyson Bagent and Case Keenum?
They do have Tyson Bagent, by the way, was the mystery guest on the CHGO Bears show.
Wow.
Good pool. I think Harriman's is a better pool, but
how do you know that?
I watched.
Not only were you on vacation with your family in the water park listening to our show, you were also checking in on the Bears.
I got to say, my YouTube algorithm, is all city shows, like from every market, and West Wing clips. Like that's it. If you were to go to my YouTube, you'll see. I mean, it's all the all city shows, so PHNX and DLLS and DNVR and CHGO. And obviously PHLY, and then just random West Wing clips that I watch. Yeah. So yeah, I think it came up in my feed.
Okay.
There were a few other mystery guests that were pretty good. But anyways,
where do you have the Bucs?
I have the Bucs at 17.
Okay.
Which might be a little low here. Yeah, I told you in the green room, if we're calling it the green room, I had trouble ranking Baker Mayfield. He's been really productive during these past few years. He also was like almost out of football at one point. I'm impressed by Mayfield, but I don't know if I'm like starting my franchise with him. Kyle Trask hasn't done much as the number 2. I liked Michael Pratt when he was coming out of Tulane, but that didn't get me too high on.
So this is interesting, Zach. We have made it this far. We're up to 15. I think some people would be surprised that we haven't gotten to the Dallas Cowboys yet. That's who I have at 15.
That's why I have at 15.
Listen.
Wait, did we do 14?
I had Lawrence.
Oh, I had Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, you had Oh, really?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, yeah. I'm a huge Kyler guy.
Way higher.
Maybe I'm watching too much of the PNX show. They think
I have him at 21.
Yeah, the PHNX show talks about Kyler Murray like he's gonna set the league on fire this year. So I'm very influenced by their coverage, I suppose.
Well, it's very hot in Phoenix, I guess. But I mean,
is that a hot take? Yeah, I have Dallas 15, and I wanted to have them higher. I like Dak. I like Joe Milton as the backup quarterback.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, and also with the Cardinals, they have Jacoby Brissett as the backup, and I thought that was a good, like a high level number
backup,
2.
Yeah.
So with the Cowboys, yeah, I think Dak's a high level player, and Dak won 12.
I'm sorry, but intellectually, if you are like valuing Jalen Hurts' playoff bona fides,
Sure.
and that is what gets him to number 5. Kyler Murray has been in the league 6 years since being the number 1 overall pick and has played in 1 playoff game.
Yeah. Look, that's a valid point.
Show me something.
I'm probably overrating him, but the tools have always been tantalizing. And look, he's healthy, right? So he tore his ACL one year. He was late arriving back in the lineup last year, or 2 years ago rather. So he's just, I mean, last year I thought he showed some flashes. I'm ready to see him in year 3 in that offense.
To me, Kyler Murray is, in this exercise, the guy who is like, I will take the roll of the dice on Cam Ward and Drake May and Bo Nix and Bryce Young, all these young guys, rather than being priced into a limited upside in Kyler Murray, because I know at this point, I think I know, that he doesn't have that level in him.
Where's he on your dog ranking?
Good question. 19th.
19th. Okay. So I had the Cowboys 15, Dak and Joe Milton. I don't like the coaching staff.
You love Joe. This was it's so funny, Joe Milton. Yeah, listen, Dak was not good last year when he was healthy.
Yeah, last year he was not.
He was bad.
But the year before he was good.
Yeah, and the year before that he was fine.
Yes.
And sneaky old. He's the second oldest quarterback that we've talked about so far, other than Matthew Stafford. And the only other projected starting quarterbacks I have on this list who are going to be older than Dak are Geno Smith, Joe Flacco, if you count him in Cleveland, and Aaron Rodgers. And Russell Wilson.
That's a fair point.
If you count Russell Wilson. Like, I think Dak is good enough to win a Super Bowl, but not by himself.
Fair.
And I think there's a chance that he is like in decline mode.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I mean, I still have him 15th. But
so you're 16th.
My 16th. Hold on.
As you're looking up, I'll go. And this is
no, my 16th was Dak. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
No, my 16th was Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams. Okay. My 16th is Miami. And
really?
Yes.
That is shocking to me.
Yeah. Now Tua hasn't been healthy, but when Tua's
they are 24th for me.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I mean, I thought Tua over the past 2 years showed something. He's gotten hurt too often. I like getting Zach Wilson as the backup quarterback there in that offense.
That's one of the worst backup quarterbacks in the league.
You think Zach Wilson's one of the worst backups in the league?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like the second chance high draft picks he's really a third chance guy. But yeah, so
but the damage his mom's going to be able to do on South Beach, I mean.
Yeah, I have no comment there. So I had Tampa Bay 17. I'm curious your 18 because you're going to pan me for my 18.
I can't believe you have the Dolphins that high. I mean, yeah, Tua's been great when healthy, but if you're starting a franchise,
yeah,
you don't want that injury history.
That's true. That's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
Okay. My 17 is Drake May.
Ooh, okay. He's my 21st.
Okay.
He just got married this weekend. Congratulations, Drake.
Congratulations, Drake. Hopefully it doesn't go the way of Carson Wentz. It's the downfall of his career.
I don't think the marriage was the reason, but who knows?
We'll find out why that might be the case in
overtime.
That was an elite overtime out of you. You've been waiting all week
yeah.
for that one. You nailed that.
I was working overtime this week, so now I can say overtime.
I believe that.
Yes.
Yeah, you worried about a guy going to be 23 years old getting married?
No, it's true love. It's just like, I think it's his high school sweetheart.
True love. What do you know?
I mean, I think it's his high school sweetheart, right? I could be wrong there.
True love.
I'm a sucker for true love, man. Like, yeah. I think that's like, I think it's good. It shows commitment.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're talking about if we're getting on is this guy psychopathic enough? And I guess get that out of the way.
Yeah.
And then, but didn't work for Carson.
Yeah, screw.
Got that big bed, and then all of a sudden couldn't play football anymore.
True. All right. So my 18, I think is kind of polarizing here.
Okay.
For some reason, kids love this quarterback, and I say this as the father of a 6-year-old. Oh, I'm sorry, father. I have a 6-year-old daughter, an 8-year-old son, and he had a birthday party, and all the kids were talking about this guy. So I don't know if there's something on YouTube or sports cards about this. The Minnesota Vikings, J.J.
Really?
McCarthy is so popular right now.
Interesting. And that's why you have him at 18 because the
Well,
kids
no, I've
love
always
him?
been a J.J. guy.
Yeah, you have been high on him.
Yeah.
I have him at 23.
Yeah. So you have to
But
factor.
the thing is, like, I would buy his stock because it is a good system surrounding
Sure,
him, right?
exactly.
Like,
exactly.
but if I were starting a random franchise, I'm not so sure I would love to. Have
Yeah,
J.J. McCarthy.
he's another guy who I would pay attention to in fantasy this year. Then Sam Howell was the backup quarterback. I think it's a fine backup.
Yeah, but most of the people you've said so far, I'm like, there's not a lot of differentiation between those backups.
True.
I'll take Cam Ward at 18. Well, let's see what he does.
I came more to 25.
That's fine. I don't really feel strongly about that. It's more of like I'll take the roll of the dice.
I don't love the offensive infrastructure there either.
Well, yeah, but I'm not betting on the Titans infrastructure. I'm just betting on giving me the quarterback.
True.
Plus, Will Levis as a backup.
There you go. Your guy.
19 for me is Bo Nix.
Bo and
who
Bo.
is much higher than I was expecting to have him. I actually did that. I did my guess of my ranking before I went through the numbers and then my actual ranking. So he swayed me a few spots.
The DNVR Spirit Week show, Zach Stevens was wearing the DNVR Bo Nix shirt. So
Great insight
I think
there.
it's LFG Bo. I think it's actually a shirt you should get.
Probably.
Yeah. LFG Bo.
Yeah.
I had Denver at 22 on this list. My 19. This is a team that this was if you're a true sicko and you watched our draft coverage 2 years ago and you remember the My Guys.
Is this 20 who you have right now or
19?
Okay.
Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix Jr.
But you didn't have him, your guy, and it's a top 10 pick.
No, that's true.
Right?
But
relative to the
yeah,
expectation.
and
I have him at 22. I think that's fine.
I'm a sucker for a lefty quarterback too.
Throws a beautiful ball.
Yeah, exactly.
I had him one spot ahead of J.J. McCarthy.
Older than people realize.
True.
Yeah, my 20, and look, there's probably a little Philadelphia or Wynwood bias here.
I knew it. I also have him at 20.
The Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young.
This is a tough one. I mean, he played so well at the end of last year.
Yes.
Like, you can't just ignore the other
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah, Bryce Young was
like, the physical limitations are real.
Yeah, true.
But I also have him at 20. I mean, I would take him over Penix and McCarthy and Tua.
I was really impressed seeing him in person. I thought that last drive against the Eagles was impressive. By the way, he was at Fanatics Fest this past weekend. So was our Chris Frezza from.
Do you think they hung out?
I doubt it, but I'll ask Chris when I see him next.
When will that be?
Is Chris in this week?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm in all week, so hopefully I see Chris.
Be here all week. Tip
Yes.
for waitresses. All right. 25.
Yeah, okay.
Who else do you have? What,
my 21's New England. My 22's Denver. So we discussed both those. My 23's the Rams. 24.
I can't believe you killed Stafford that bad. Okay.
Seattle Seahawks. And this is more
Really?
This is more the depth of the room.
I guess I say
Noro?
really, and I have him at 25.
Okay, yeah. So Sam Darnold coming off a strong year, and then the depth in that room. I mean, Joe Milrow was my guy this year.
A roll of the dice.
Yeah, so good developmental player there.
Okay.
And then it was easy for me to round out the bottom. I actually worked from the bottom up, not the top down.
You want to finish from the bottom up?
Yes. 32, New Orleans.
Agree.
Okay. 31, Cleveland.
Pittsburgh.
Okay, 30 was my Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I at least think Rodgers gives you like a fighting chance this year.
Yeah, I think I had Cleveland at 28.
Okay.
Because at least there's a couple rolls of the dice on the rookie quarterbacks, and I think Joe Flacco is not even necessarily worse than Aaron Rodgers.
20 or so 30 was Pittsburgh for me. 29 was Indianapolis.
Indianapolis was 27 for me, but I don't really feel strongly about that.
So my 28 and 27, I was going back and forth between the Jets and the Giants. I personally like Justin Fields more than.
I think he should go by Joe Fields.
Joe Fields was the quarterback at Syracuse when I was there. Joe Fields and Perry Patterson competed for the starting job that year.
Then you get Broadway Joe.
Yeah.
I like Joe Fields.
Okay.
I like Joe Fields better than Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I think he should rebrand.
So I still believe in Justin Fields more so than the CHGO Bears show does.
So he's what? He's 20.
He's my 27. 28, I had the Giants, but I like the depth of the Giants room more. I should probably reverse that. So I'll go Giants
and then we
27.
both have the Raiders at 26?
Yes, the Raiders are 26.
Yeah. Sorry to Gino. If this was a 1-year exercise, he would be much higher. Although not
I'm not a Gino guy.
that much higher.
I'm not a Gino guy.
I think he'd be about 15 for me.
Yeah. I'm not a Gino guy.
For a 1-year deal. But yeah, he's also 34 years old, and you're not even going to mention Aiden O'Connell?
I should have mentioned
Who's
Aiden
their
O'Connell.
3?
Let's see who Chip Kelly is working with as their number 3.
I can't believe how quickly we got through the rest of the rankings.
They have Cam Miller as the number 3. Cam Miller from North Dakota State.
Cam Miller. I liked him. He was my guy.
He was your guy. You're a Cam Miller guy.
Oh, I should move him up in the rankings.
Okay.
All right. What did you learn doing this exercise?
What I learned is that like these quarterback ratings that people do, rankings.
These people.
These people. I'm sorry. I should say these people. These quarterback ratings that you see, if Jalen Hurts is not in the top 10, like what more do you need to see from this guy?
I find that very unserious.
Yeah, like what more do you need to see from this guy? You know, are you that much of like a quarterback snob that like
I do agree with that.
What Jalen's demonstrated shouldn't matter. I understand like Justin Herbert. Yeah, if you want to have that conversation, fine. But you can't get
the
to
Super
10
Bowl is one
quarterbacks.
thing, but tell me what you can do on a Thursday night against the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, that's what really matters.
So I think there should be a little respect to Jalen's name here.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. But
I also think the Eagles are probably happy about it. Don't you think?
Oh, sure. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. I think that the bottom of the league is really bad at quarterback. You know, the fact that like I was able to identify, you know, usually you should have a hard time distinguishing between like 32 and 22. You know, when we do like the coaching staff rankings, sometimes you can do that. It was very easy for me to pick the bottom 5 here. And so, but the hard part right now is that like 10 to 20 range. And, you know, I think there's a lot more discrepancy there.
Okay. It's fun. Can I ask you a personal question?
Depends on how personal it is.
Man to man. I'm thinking a lot about this.
Everyone's watching.
I've done some work trying to figure this out, and I have not been able to get to the bottom of it. How do you make a turkey melt?
How do I make a turkey melt?
How does one make a turkey melt? I don't understand. It's very difficult.
So I take a piece of bread. I use the George Foreman grill for everything.
Really?
Yeah, like for sandwiches. Yeah, I'm a big George Foreman grill guy. Sentimental to my youth. When I was when I was my senior year of high school, we had to do like a how-to presentation, and I did how to make a grilled cheese on the George Foreman grill. And so
interesting.
Yeah. So but what I do is I take the bread, I put tomato and lettuce and turkey and cheese.
Interesting. You go tomato and lettuce on a turkey melt.
Yes, you don't?
I don't like hot lettuce.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's part of the experience. Yeah. You don't like a char, you know, like I like these like you know, when I grill, I'll put the romaine, I'll do the grilled romaine.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so that's how I'll do the turkey melt is that. But I need to.
Did you learn that yourself, or did you have to look it up?
I learned that myself.
Wow.
But
I know humans were capable of such a thing.
I need to put a piece of bread on the top, or else it ruins the.
Well, yeah.
No, it ruins the George Foreman grill.
You can't just put.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just put the top on the cheese.
Yes. Yeah. So. But no, like, what you think of a tuna melt or a turkey melt, and it doesn't have the top on it. It's open faced. What? But the George Foreman grill, the George Foreman grill makes that difficult. Okay, so you can do the open faced. You can do the open faced turkey melt if you do it in a pan, which some people like to do. But I prefer the George Foreman grill. It's easier to clean. And so I have to use, but what I'll do, and I hate wasting bread, But what I'll do is this. If you really want, if you want the secret, I'll make it. I will make it with the bread on the top, and then I'll take the bread off.
Really?
So then it's the open face turkey melt. And then but then as a treat, I have a little cheesy bread, right? So this is like the best of both worlds because you have your turkey melt and you have your cheesy bread. Now, admittedly, I do more of a tuna melt than a turkey melt. You're literally in tears right now. I don't know why this is so funny. Shay says, "Have you tried an air fryer?" I have an air fryer. My wife uses the air fryer more. I'm loyal to. I dance with the girl who brought me. Okay,
Oh,
and
wow.
that
What about technology?
and that is the George Foreman grill. So, a matter of fact, when my wife then girlfriend moved in with me, she actually threw out my George Foreman grill. And when we moved, and it was like one of the few. We haven't had a lot of like fights about stuff, but the George Foreman grill, I was like, what is this probably had at that point like 12 years of grease. And it's like stuck in.
Disgusting grease trap on that thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so I typically make tuna melts. So I actually don't really I make turkey sandwiches. I don't call it a turkey. So I suppose that's a turkey melt. I think of the melt as open faced.
The turn of you can't leave it open faced and put the thing down because you really is precisely the level of dumb person who needs to use AI to ask how to make a turkey melt. I didn't know I was gonna make a mess on my George Foreman grill. Like,
well, I'm not saying it like that. I'm just trying to give the audience some feedback.
clearly you didn't listen to all the shows last week.
I didn't listen to all the shows last week.
Good for you. I'm actually happy. I'm proud of you for that.
No, so that was one where I didn't listen through to all the shows last week. But that was I did see in the comment, or you ended the show talking about the turkey. If someone has a good turkey melt recommendation.
Oh, that must have been the day after the actual conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Wow, that I cannot believe how well that delivered.
Look, I've so I'm talking about my wife way too much in this episode, okay? But she has this joke with me sometimes, like, how did you exist before I got in your life?
Yeah.
And I was like, Emily, you don't realize I was very self-sufficient in that I had the George Foreman grill. I'll go to the grocery store. I would get the sandwich. I'd get the bread, the cheese, the deli meat or the tuna, the lettuce and the tomato. And that was a breakfast and a lunch. Or I'm sorry, that was a lunch and a dinner. Breakfast was often grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese for breakfast.
Oh yeah, great breakfast. People
on the George Foreman.
On the George Foreman. The George Foreman I had when I lived in Charlottesville, Virginia. I had like a full working kitchen, right? I mean, it was like the first time I lived on my own. I had a full working kitchen. All I used was the George Foreman grill. I mean, I think well, that's not true. I made pasta, so I would use, but I don't think I opened like the stove for any. I think I might have baked cookies one time, but yeah, I think that's the extent of it. I was using the George Foreman grill.
And if you had your druthers, you'd still just be doing that.
No, I mean I've since matured to a real grill. We have a grill, and
but you still have the George Foreman in rotation
for sandwiches. Yes, I mean the grill you gotta open it up and clean it, and it's like a whole production. You gotta go outside.
Yeah, I'm not recommending making a sandwich on the grill.
Yeah. So, but I grill frequently, especially this time of year. Love it. I put a podcast on. I love grilling. That's my contribution to the kitchen.
It's your you time too.
Suppose so. Although Reed wants to help me now, so it's not really a you time. I was grilling steaks last night, and he wanted to do it with me.
That's nice.
Yeah. Sorry.
So how quickly did you repurchase a George Foreman grill after Emily dastardly threw it away?
Oh, we put it on the wedding registry.
Did you?
Yes.
That's very funny.
Yeah, so I had to get back that. I had to get that again.
What about the garbage can?
Garbage can was we had to buy.
You took the loss on that one.
I took the loss on that one. People don't know that story.
Haven't we told that before?
Yeah, we've done a show for 6 years together.
Yeah.
They probably heard it at some point.
Okay. Is there a super chat? I believe there is. A couple. Shart Gallery says, petition to make it peck nest castrate. All in favor. Not a bad idea. Claude Debussy says, tried to make a turkey sandwich without AI and burned my house down. Please send help. Listen, you were not the first person that's happened to. Thank God for AI. Otherwise, how else would we melt these turkeys? And then I also think we have a super chat from Friday that we missed that I have to pull up here. I believe it was from CDP. Oh, this was a West Wing question, but something that you might not want to answer if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Thank you for your contribution, CDP. We'll get it another time. Oh, here it is. I think you probably don't want to answer that.
Oh, I remember seeing this in the chat. Actually, this is interesting because
the question is: would fictional President Jed Bartlett consider U.S. involvement in the current conflict between Israel and Iran?
So I would actually tell CDP and anyone to watch The American President, which the West Wing was based off of the notes for The American President, and there was a scene in the early on when Andrew Shepard, he was the president in that movie. That's Michael Douglas' character, and he's talking to his chief of staff, who is ironically Martin Sheen, who became the president in the West Wing, and they were talking about a bombing that they did. Now, so would he have done it? I mean, I don't want to get political here, but yeah, I do believe Jed Bartlett would have done that. Yes.
Would have done what?
Well, I mean, look, Jed Bartlett coordinated the assassination of Abdul Sharif at the end of season 3. So,
Sharif Abdurrahim?
No, Abdul Sharif. I believe people know what I'm talking about here. If you're a West Wing fan, so yeah, I mean, actually, I'm going to stay away from this one here. There's a lot.
Listen, I tried to get you to not answer this.
Yeah. Anyways, big West Wing fan. Check it out. Great show.
Check out Zach's algorithm. If you're able to acquire Zach's phone, there will be plenty of West Wing clips for you to watch on the YouTube app. All right, good stuff. What a day. Good to have you back, my friend.
Awesome to be back. This is fun.
What
we got tomorrow, coaches?
I don't know.
We'll text.
Should we rank backup quarterbacks?
Well, I think we covered the backup quarterbacks.
Maybe then on Wednesday we can rank number 3 quarterbacks.
Number 3 quarterbacks. We have enough shows, so yes.
Yeah, we'll do some kind of ranking tomorrow.
Actually, a call to the audience. If you have any ideas, so Bo, in addition to being the best host in the city, is incredible at planning like the conceit of shows.
I mean, today was your idea.
But I'm saying,
don't sell yourself short.
So I got 3 weeks after this week where I'm going to be in the host seat. It's a lot of pressure. Got to come up with shows. So if you have any ideas, please send them along.
Have you ever thought about taking questions from the audience, but doing it on a Wednesday?
Like a midweek mailbag.
You could call it that.
Yeah, I've thought of. I mean, look, we will get mailbags in there. We will. I read the Reddit forum for the Ringers Philly special, and they look. These are devoted fans, and they talk about the mailbag like it's the greatest segment in the history of podcasting. And so I want to say we can incorporate a good mailbag here too. So we will do that. We'll have either a midweek mailbag or a Monday mailbag. I think the midweek mailbag's better because Monday, you have a hot button show Monday.
Sure.
Yeah. So midweek mailbags.
There you go. Wow. Throwing the Ringers Philly special all the way under the bus.
No, I love the Ringers Philly special.
Not me. No. Okay, that'll do it for this delightful episode of the PHLY Eagles podcast. Thanks to everybody for watching and listening. Thank you to Andrew for making it happen behind the scenes. Thank you to the Drips over here for keeping us on our toes. And we'll talk to you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. As always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.